so Trump said, bombing Iran might actually save us from the start of World War III if it keeps the Israelis from using nuclear weapons.
So according to your source, the Israelis told the president of the United States that if he did not use the United States military power to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, Israel, acting on its own, would use nuclear weapons. Could you walk me through some common tactics and ways that they would recruit someone like that?
Yeah,
where are they meeting them? How are they meeting them?
Sure. This is an easy recruitment that any, brand new case officer can do. It's essentially a cold pitch, but you're cold pitching someone who's so desperate that they'll do anything. Mm. There's no love of Iran among these Afghans because the Iranians haven't given them anything. There's no hatred of Israel because maybe these guys don't even know it's the Israelis that are asking them to work. They could be saying, oh, we're from the Mujahideen Khalq, MEK, or we're from Iraq, or we're from, Pakistan or whatever. They don't have to say we're Israeli intelligence officers.
Might some of these spies who are Israeli intelligence officers, to be clear, not be native Israelis?
Oh, I would suspect that almost none of them are native Israelis.
Meaning they're not undercover trying to pose like Eli Cohen did as another
Correct.
race. Okay.
Correct. These are probably Iranians who have been recruited by the Israelis overseas, or what would be even better for the Israelis is if they are Iranian Jews who maybe emigrated and can be sent back.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so they would get a lot of these guys easy approaches, like the street type taskers, easy approaches because they got nothing going for them.
And then what they end up getting is, jobs in these generals' houses as a tea wala, a tea boy, or
that could mean a few things.
Sweep the floor, and oftentimes it does mean a few things. Sweep the floors, wash the car, whatever. Then you get the general's cell phone number. Mm. Well, we know that the Israelis targeted each individual's cell phone number so they could track it as it's moving around town and fire rockets directly at whoever happens to be holding the cell phone. So the Iranian government then said, as a new policy, no generals and no nuclear scientists can carry cell phones. So you know what the Israelis did? Because the Israelis ended up killing them all.
What'd they do?
They realized that the Iranians never told the bodyguards that they can't carry cell phones.
Somewhere Mike Yeagley's just hitting the table right now. God damn it. Hey guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge help. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show.
I will say the one thing that I was really, really worried would lead to something terrible was when we decided to bomb Iran at the Israelis' behest.
Yeah. Now, why would we do that, John?
Well, there's a good reason why we would do it. Before it was done, I would have thought it was insanity. Mm-hmm. After it's been done, I think I've come to the conclusion that, all right, that wasn't so bad after all.
Really?
So, yeah. Listen, every president, from when I joined the CIA, George H.W. Bush had just become president, the Israelis asked us to bomb Iran. Every single president. No matter who the prime minister of Israel happens to be, you got to bomb Iran. You got to bomb Iran. You got to bomb Iran. And every single president said, no, we're not bombing Iran. I remember a couple of times when Obama, was it Obama? Obama and Netanyahu got into shouting matches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That we didn't have an understanding or an appreciation of what an existential threat Iran was, or a nuclear Iran was. You got to bomb Iran. You got to bomb Iran. We would never bomb Iran because our position was that would be the start of World War III. Because if we bomb Iran and maybe, weakened the hold that the government has on the country, then the Chinese may have to come in, or the Russians may have to come in.
That was going to be my next question. Did this just prove that this situation, seeing as we did bomb sites there and nothing happened, did this prove that the Chinese and the Russians actually don't really give a shit about Iran, or is that a little premature to say?
Maybe just a little premature, but I would say as things stand right now, yeah, that's the initial conclusion we can draw. The reason, though, I'm told, that Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran was that the Israelis said, for the first time, if you don't bomb Iran to take out these deep bunkers, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And they had never threatened that before. And so Trump said, bombing Iran might actually save us from the start of World War III if it keeps the Israelis from using nuclear weapons.
So according to your source, the Israelis told the president of the United States that if he did not use the United States military power to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, Israel, acting on its own, would use nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Do you see why there's a problem with that statement, John?
Yeah.
Because they've never admitted that they've had them.
That's right.
So you're telling me that they just admitted to the president of the United States that they have nuclear weapons and we still do not have them in the IAEA treaty?
I mean, if Israeli nuclear whistleblowers are to be believed, yeah, they've had them. They started working on them in the 50s. They got them around the late 60s or the early 70s. Look at Mordechai Vanunu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't charged for treason for nothing.
That's the guy who they hid in Rome with the honeypot?
Yeah.
Yeah, 86?
No, he friended me on Facebook. I rejected the friend request.
That's not what I asked, but okay.
I know. No, you said was he 86? No, he's alive.
No. Not 86. I think they got him in 1986.
Oh, in 86. Yeah, they got him in 86.
That's right. He friend requested you on Facebook?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no, thank you. I have enough problems in my life. Yeah. Anyway, I was on Piers Morgan show a couple of months ago, and I'm on with a retired Mossad general, Danny Ayalon. Thank you. So Alan Dershowitz was on.
Oh, God.
And I just can't help myself sometimes when Alan Dershowitz and I are in the same room. I just can't help it. He's just such... On the one hand, he's a very kind and generous man. On the other hand, when it comes to Israel, he's irrational.
How so?
There's literally nothing that the Israelis can do that's wrong. Nothing. And he won't let you get a word out. If he thinks that you might possibly criticize Israel, he's going to interrupt you until you just give up and move on. So I'm arguing with him about whether or not Israel spies on the United States. I said, of course they spy on the United States. They're prolific in their espionage work in the United States, especially as it relates to American defense contractors, right? And Pierce finally interrupts Dershowitz and asks General Ayalon if it's true that the Israelis spy on the United States. And he just laughed. He goes like that. And he says, my position is whatever the prime minister's position is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you for confirming that Israel spies on the United States. It's the same thing with the nuclear program. Pierce came right out and asked him, does Israel have nuclear weapons?
And what did he say?
And he said, well, the prime minister hasn't confirmed that there are nuclear weapons, so I'm just going to go with what the prime minister says.
But breaking news, you just reported here today based on your source that not only has the prime minister confirmed it, he confirmed it to the president of our country.
One other thing, too. I have a friend. He was my first boss at the CIA. He's a really, really great guy. He retired years ago.
John Brennan?
No, he's not a really great guy. No.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. So in his retirement, he writes books about these little niche foreign policy issues that you might say, well, who gives a shit about that? And then you read the book and you can't put it down. Like U.S.-Indian relations during the Kennedy administration. I couldn't put the book down. Or some obscure little window in the 70s of U.S.-Saudi relations, stuff like that. So anyway, he told me that, like we all do, he sent his book into the CIA's Publications Review Board for clearance before he sent it to the publisher. And he said that in all the books he's written, and he's written at least a half a dozen, they only took out 3 words: Israeli nuclear program. And I said, why? It's not up to us to protect the fact that there's an Israeli nuclear program. We didn't classify any Israeli nuclear program. That was improperly classified. And he said, yeah, I knew it. But then I thought, it's easier just to take it out.
I don't have any problem. I mean, if it were up to me, nobody in the world would have nukes. But seeing as that's not the case, I don't have any problem with them having nukes. I have a problem with the fact that every country around the world who even might have nukes has to admit to it and register, and they don't.
And sign the non-proliferation treaty afterwards.
Yeah, and it's like, it's insulting to hear that. Oh, and you see the same reaction that you just described over and over again. Anytime a spokesperson of Israel is being asked about it, I mean, they sweat like a whore in church when you ask them about nuclear weapons. They all know.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, no, we don't have them. It's like, but
they all are compelled to play this silly game. Yeah.
It's like, why?
Exactly.
But it's been almost 60 years.
And there are credible reports that when the apartheid regime fell in South Africa, they had nukes and they gave them to the Israelis. Like, why aren't we talking about that?
They gave them?
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Who reported that?
Can we Google that? Oh, that's been around for decades. South African nuclear program, Israel, something like that.
Interesting.
I mean, there was a period in the 70s when Argentina and Brazil were going at it, and they were both starting to develop nukes, and then they both backed off. Can you imagine?
God damn. All right, Deep's got it. So Israel and South Africa had a secret defense and nuclear cooperation, particularly after the 1975 Israel-South Africa agreement. While Israel reportedly provided South Africa with technology, knowledge, and equipment to help with its armaments needs, there is no conclusive evidence of significant assistance in developing South Africa's nuclear devices. However, documents from 2010 suggest Israel offered to sell nuclear warheads to Africa. And then there's like a lot below here, or to South Africa. There's a lot below here. So this is like... This is going far.
The Vela incident,
a
1979 satellite detected a double flash of light, which is why they believe to have been a nuclear explosion.
A joint South African-Israeli test. So at the least, what it would appear is that there was some cooperation on development, or at least working with the materials, which also would signify that you have them. I mean,
and remember at the time, the regime in South Africa was staunchly pro-Israel, especially in the United Nations. It was one of the few countries that Israel could routinely count on.
That's interesting. So back then, in the 70s and 80s, you're saying? Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.